Welcome into the Pick a Side podcast, college football picks edition. It is what, week 4? Week 5?
Dude, week 5.
Week 5 of the college football season.
We're almost halfway done.
Well, but the bye weeks get mixed in. Like, it's actually, even though it's 12 games, it's a 14-week season.
It is. Plus, you've got then conference championships and the extended playoff, but we're almost halfway done.
Before we get into the slate this weekend, which is a much better slate, and I'll just say off the top, I have 6 bets. I'm being more reserved. I don't know anything about college football is the way I'm feeling right now. So I'm just locking in on a couple things. Also, remember, we're on YouTube. Please leave us a comment, rate, review, subscribe, the whole deal, wherever you get your podcasts, and on YouTube, youtube.com/@pickaside ESPN. But we need to talk about a couple news items. First of which being John Mateer.
You shedding a tear? Shed a tear for Mateer?
Yesterday, honestly, I'm so glad I went to the movies. Because, yes.
It's got to be like one of the 3 most depressing sports days of your life.
Yeah, I think it's up there. My Oklahoma SEC ticket feels like it got lit on fire. My Mateer Heisman ticket got lit on fire. I had him at 25-1 preseason. You know how much of a slap I am for this guy.
Yep.
To get news that he has surgery on his hand. One, like, to go for 270 and a touchdown and engineer a game-winning drive in conference play against a defense as good as Auburn's with a broken fucking hand. I hope that he has a quicker recovery than expected. They said about a month. They're being really, like, weird about the timeline. We'll miss some game action. There's hope.
That's college sports, though. I mean, they're going to be as vague as possible with this shit.
Maybe it's cope, but I'm like, if it's just a minor hand surgery, there's a world where you can come back in a week. Now, obviously, this is a little more extreme than that because they said a month, but they've got Kent State this weekend, bye week next week, and then Red River. Or bye week this week, Kent State next weekend, and then either way, that's the setup. If he's back for Red River, action's on.
Yes.
Oklahoma's good to go. Heisman ticket good to go. Because I think you earn a little goodwill by acing out Auburn with a broken fucking hand.
Yeah.
You can miss a game and then come back and win in Red River, and you're good to go. If he's out for any extended period of time, Oklahoma's dead. John Mateer Heisman's dead. And that means we have to find a Heisman bye at this point.
All right, I'm in. By the way, have you seen the new favorite?
Fernando Mendoza.
And did you see he jumped because of the Mateer injury?
Yep.
He went from 12-1 to plus 650 because someone else got injured. That doesn't track for me.
Yeah, it's bizarre. I think if you're buying Mendoza, like obviously...
You've lost the plot at this point.
Obviously, he had the performance, but you also just have missed the best of the number. Like, you just can't do it.
Like, he probably should be the Heisman favorite at this point, but you're not getting the number that you should be looking for here.
No, definitely not. So there's another player who I have fallen in love with, and you know where I'm going with this, and it's not like I'm going deep down here into the cellar of the odds. I don't hate Gunnar Stockton 12-1.
Yeah, you can get 13-1 on DraftKings too.
He was exceptional in the Tennessee game, and it was everything I want to see out of a quarterback. The mobility, presence in the pocket. He went through all of his reads. He looked like he processed quickly. He's got a little bit of happy feet, and he ejects the pocket a little early. But to go on the road to Neyland and win that game with your arm, that elevated him, and it didn't make him the favorite because of what Mateer was doing, because of what Carson Beck was doing, because of what Dante Moore, and now apparently Fernando Mendoza, which, like, you figure it out. But Gunnar Stockton was the first one that jumped to me as a buy. I think I'm out on Nuss because it's really difficult after the last couple weeks for him to get the numbers.
I was going to say the numbers aren't there. Can I give you a guy that I see on the board that I'm intrigued by? And it's a name I've brought up before, but Jaden Maiava at 16-1.
20-1 on Bet365.
All right, that's even better.
The two I were looking at were Gunnar Stockton because I fell head over heels in love with him during the Tennessee game. The second one was Jaden Maiava. My fear is, do we trust USC enough going forward that they're going to make the playoff, that they're going to be noisy? Look,
do you have to make the playoff?
Making the playoff isn't a thing anymore.
Last
because
year's did not.
Hunter didn't make it, and the year before, Jaden Daniels didn't make it. So 2 consecutive years, you didn't have to make the playoff to win the Heisman. Now, granted, last year quarterback play was abysmal. Cam Ward blew it going to Syracuse. Otherwise, he might have been the Heisman. And it went to a unicorn. This year, there is no unicorn. This year, it's like, again, we say this every year. I'm more confident this year than I was last year. It's going to be a quarterback.
Yeah. I think you've got too many candidates, even like some of the ancillary guys, like the way that Beck and Stockton have started the year, and even guys like Joey Aguilar too. And then, of course, like we're not even talking about the two favorites at that point,
right,
who are Mendoza and Dante Moore from Oregon. I just think, yeah, there's not even that there's a ton of NFL caliber quarterbacks in here, but there's a ton of great college quarterbacks in here that you can pick from.
I think I would go Stockton and Maeva. But you know what I would also do is I would wait. The problem here is I like Georgia this weekend. I'll get this out of the way. Like we'll start off the picks right here. Georgia, Bama this weekend. We'll be in Vegas watching the game. I'm sure we'll be with Hoodie, who will be unreachable mentally during the game.
Abdallah too.
Abdallah as well, yeah. I like Georgia in the spot. If they win, I think there's a good chance Gunnar Stockton's the favorite come next week. So it's buy now or buy never. But if Georgia loses and you get the flip side of it is if you get a shootout duel and Georgia loses but Stockton plays well, that's the Bo Nix buy spot from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So if you want to take it at 12-1, like you got to do it understanding. If you don't do it now and Georgia wins, this is going to be maybe the favorite to win the Heisman. But if they lose and he plays well, you might get a better buy. Maeva, I think, is a little more interesting in that regard because USC, it's all in front of them. They've got Illinois this weekend. They're huge favorites. Again, J.B. Pritzker not letting us bet games.
We'll be in Vegas.
Oh, that's so true. Okay.
I was thinking about this on the train ride in today. I was like, oh, kind of an interesting game that I'd kind of like to bet. Oh, I'm going to be in Vegas. We're all going to be in Vegas.
Okay. Friendship Trojans.
Oh, I like this Illinois team. I hate betting against them, but I do like Jaden Maeva a lot.
Dude, I'm telling you, I think I got screwed by turnovers in the Duke game. I nailed it on Indiana. I didn't think Indiana would do that. But I don't buy anything Illinois is selling. I told you preseason I thought they were overrated.
I will say this. I think I'm like 1 in a billion when I do this, where like I'm out of state and I'm like, all right, this is the time to force the play on an Illinois school. Like I remember doing it in the NCAA tournament a couple years ago. I forced the play on an Illinois school game, and then I end up losing.
I think it's USC. I know it's early
I would
kick.
probably say it's USC or nothing, but
West East. It's kind of a bounce back spot for Illinois. Trojans, I don't know what you do with it. Like if you buy that they're good, then you bet them. We'll figure it out when we get to Vegas. It's not something I had on the card because I forgot that we could even bet it. But the point I'm making, like USC has a schedule set up for them where they're going to have an opportunity to beat Michigan, beat Notre Dame, beat Nebraska, beat Oregon. They do all of that. Jaden Maeva is your Heisman winner.
Yeah. Can I interest you as well in, and I wouldn't bet it this week because I'm with you, I think Georgia wins, but what about Ty Simpson? His numbers have quietly really picked up. He had 4 touchdowns against Wisconsin the other week, a couple weeks ago before the bye, and you know he's playing in primetime games. He's going to be a focal point in terms of the bannering of every single game. He's going to have the spotlight on him, and he's started to play some better football. He's at 20-1 right now, and if you think he's going to lose the game, I would say wait a week, and then maybe you dive into the Ty Simpson market.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers are good. 862, 9 touchdowns,
and remember, he's only played 3 games.
Yeah. The loss in the Florida State game is what stings you because you really can't afford multiple losses the rest of the season. But it's kind of the inverse of what we were talking about with Gunnar Stockton. If Alabama goes out and beats Georgia, you're going to see a significantly shorter number on Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
So you got to walk your way there. I'm probably more out on it because I like Georgia this weekend in the game, so I'm not going to like hedge it with a 22-1 that would die.
But I would wait.
Here's the thing. Here's where I think I'm landing. If I had to play a Heisman today, I think it would be Maeva. Because like even if Stockton wins on Saturday, it's not like he's going to go to 3-1. He might be the favorite at 8-1 odds. You can still make a buy even though it's on a favorite.
I mean, if it's convincing, it could be like 4 or 5-1.
I think what I want to do is I want to watch the market and see what happens with the Mateer injury. And if he's healthy for Red River, then I'm going to sit it out. If he's not, that's where I'll make a buy. And we'll have more data at that point. We'll have the answers to these two games, which change everything. We'll have a little more answer on what USC looks like, which that's where I say if I'm betting it today, it would be Maava, because USC is now in the position where either Maava's not going to win the Heisman or the number will only get worse for you to bet it.
Yeah, that checks out there. Lincoln Riley's going to gun for the guy to get a Heisman too, because it's part of his resume. He can go into any living room and say, hey, I got this guy, a Heisman. Oh, and by the way, all of them ended up being number 1 overall picks. I'd imagine Maava could be in that conversation at some point too for a number 1 overall pick whenever he decides to declare. So, he's whether or not USC makes the playoffs, we could see the Brian Kelly, Jaden Daniels playbook at the end of the year where they're just pushing him for a Heisman.
Yeah. John Mateer looks like off the board completely.
Yeah, I don't see him anywhere here either.
Which is...
I see him 80-1 right now.
Jesus, man. I can't do it. I can't get a Heisman. I had Bo Nix close like minus 300 the final day of the season 2 years ago. And I had him 35-1. And he lost outright as a double-digit dog against Oregon. And unbelievable loss.
I could hear the pain in your voice on that.
Last year, I refused to even bet Heisman because I got burned so bad on Bo Nix. This year, I'm like, John Mateer, I got to do it. He's 4 weeks into the season. He's the fucking favorite, and he gets surgery on his hand.
It sucks. It sucks, but it's part of the player market.
Yeah, it sucks, man. It's brutal. I just wanted to go through it. I don't have a buy on it right now, but I wanted to make sure we at least discussed it.
Yeah, for sure.
The other news story I want to talk to you about, frankly, I forgot what it was. I think it might relate to LSU Ole Miss, so I'll save it for when we discuss that game.
Okay.
Because stunning revelations occurring in the SIP this week. Stunning. Okay. You want to start on Saturday with the big games? You got anything on Friday night?
I do have a little Friday night action.
Let's do do we want to save the Friday night action for the end?
Quickly bolt through it.
I pray we're on the same side.
I could imagine we are for one, and the other I have a total.
Oh, wow. 2 bets on
Friday. 2 bets on Friday. I actually really like the Friday board.
Matter of fact, I have 2 bets on Friday. Let's get to it. I didn't realize one of the games was a Friday night game. I'm betting 2 of these. You pick. Where do you want to start?
Right. Let's go to a game featuring a top 10 team, Florida State, on the road to take on Virginia. Virginia, what? A 7-point underdog against a top 10 team? Boy, I don't know. Things have changed for Tony Elliott's crew over there.
Yep.
Who would have thought that he would be ahead of Dabo at this point in the season? Who would have thought Venables would be ahead of Dabo this season? But here we are.
Also getting some line moves. There's 6.5s popping.
Oh, wow. Okay. The number I like in this game is under 59.5 because Virginia's defense has had some really solid showings so far this year. And you get Florida State on the road on a short week. And it's the first real-ish game Florida State has played since their opener. And it's their first road game. Like, you're throwing all of these different variables at it, and I think that doesn't help them defensively, and I don't think it helps their offense either. So give me under 59.5 in this game.
Okay, it correlates with what I'm doing. I placed Virginia +7 this morning.
All right.
I'm sticking to where I was at with Florida State. The Bama game, it is what it is. We thought Bama looked slow. We thought they didn't look physical. They've played nobody since. Like you brought up Ty Simpson's numbers against Wisconsin. That's all well and good. Wisconsin blows. And Luke
but has a solid defense.
Sure, but dude, Luke Fickell might be walking into something where maybe Wisconsin's willing to pay the $25 million buyout just to get him the fuck out of Madison. They're terrible. So I'm not taking anything out of Alabama playing Wisconsin. And on the Florida State side, great, you beat Alabama. But it's a Bama team that really might not be that good, and maybe we got tricked. They bring so much back on defense. Maybe it's just defensive players that aren't very good. This Virginia side, the line stuck out to me that Florida State's only a 7-point favorite. I get a home team getting a touchdown. It smells funny. I'm going to bet it. I'm going to lean into it. It's a part of a 3-part dog package I have on some big games where I am fading ranked teams.
Yeah.
Little teaser this weekend.
There's another game that looks just like this one.
I got 2 of them.
Okay.
And I'm fading in both of them.
All right.
maybe at my own risk. But I'll say this: I promise. Might not win all three bets. Might only win one of them. But I promise one of these three dogs will win outright, and Virginia is in that group.
Yeah.
One of these three dogs that we're going to get to will win outright. Okay, the other Friday night game I have action on.
All right.
The number looks fucked up, and I'm just going to lean into it because they had a really nice performance and a bounce-back win after going to Mississippi State and losing.
Yes.
They beat Baylor. Now they're laying 2.5 at home in Tempe. I'm going to bet Arizona State at home against TCU. The TCU defense is bad.
Yeah.
If Jennings, the quarterback at SMU, were any fucking good, I think SMU could have won that game. Hoover did not play well. Arizona State.
SMU did win that game, didn't they?
TCU, SMU?
Yeah.
No, TCU's undefeated.
Are they?
Yeah.
Who am I thinking? Who did SMU beat that I'm thinking of?
I have no idea, but
All
it
right.
wasn't
Never
TCU
mind.
last week. TCU's ranked right now, by the way, going on the road and receiving points from unranked Arizona State. I think they bounced back. I think Mississippi State also were at a point where maybe they're good.
Yeah.
I think Arizona State laying 2.5 in Tempe, and I'll tell you another thing, that is a brutally difficult place to play. I know TCU isn't like mystified by hot weather, but it's different. When you're out on the desert and it's 98 degrees in Tempe, it's a different kind of football. It impacts the way you play. You get tired quicker than they do. I'm laying 2.5 with Arizona State.
Yeah, I'm joining you on that. It's a good TCU offense, but you're going up against a defense that returns a ton of pieces from a playoff team from a year ago. And I just love the spot in general, getting a home team, short favorite, or sometimes underdog on a short week.
Under a
I
field
love
goal. It's a beautiful place
Yep.
to be. All right, let's go to Saturday, and let's just go straight to the big games because I know this is what people care about. There's ranked matchups that are big time on Saturday. Do you want to start with the Big Ten one? Top 10?
Yeah, go ahead.
Penn State, Oregon in Happy Valley, and Penn State's laying 3.5 points. I think there's only one thing you can do with it. I hate the quarterback. I hate the head coach. But until or unless Dan Lanning proves to me that he can perform in big spots like this, and Oregon last year had trouble going west to east and covering numbers. They didn't cover a full game spread at Northwestern 2 weeks ago. I think that their offense is a little overrated because they've played horrible opponents. Oklahoma State, rest in peace, Mike Gundy, which may have actually been the news
your other
story I
note,
wanted to bring
yeah.
up. Yeah, Mike Gundy, gone, blown out of Oklahoma State.
I'm a little surprised.
I am too. I thought it would be at the end of the season, a mutual parting of ways,
Yes.
but they just clipped him. And I guess that's what losing to Tulsa does. Broader point, Oklahoma going, 69-3 on Oklahoma or Oregon doing that to Oklahoma State. You got to look at Oklahoma State basically as an FCS team at this point.
Yes.
It's no different than playing some terrible group of 5 school. It's no different than playing like North Dakota. They're terrible. So I'm not taking anything out of that. Aller has to look better, but Penn State being at home at night, whiteout, NBC, this is one of, if not the most hostile environments in college football. Oregon has been terrible in these spots under Dan Lanning, and I think it says something that this number is floating outside of a field goal. They're begging you to bet the Ducks. They're just teasing you, like, we'll get you a field goal and a hook.
Yep.
It's free. I have to bet Penn State here on principle.
I'm rolling with you. I like Penn State in the game. Oregon 1-3-1 against the spread as an underdog under Dan Lanning. So these spots have only come up 5 times, but it hasn't been pretty. And you can't push on this number 3.5. So I look at it as 1 and 3 in some of those spots here.
Yep.
I'm going to roll on the side of the 3, and I like Penn State. And just the Penn State rushing attack, man, we've talked about it a lot this season. And I get that there's no real data points on either side, but we know what Penn State is running the football from a year ago. They were excellent. And then they brought it all back this year. So you're talking about probably the best backfield in America. It's a toss-up between them and Notre Dame. I'm going to roll with that. When you're at home, you can get that momentum. You get the crowd behind you, and especially this crowd when you know it's going to be a whiteout. You know it's going to be rowdy. And, you know, like James Franklin, sneaky, has gotten up for some of these games lately, and Dan Lanning has not.
James Franklin also knows the number. If he's up a field goal, he will have no problem running Dan Lanning's face into a little boo-boo. And honestly, just like Dante Moore's been great to start the year, but taking him on the road to an environment like this,
Yes.
I can't get UCLA Dante Moore out of my head. I can't buy that he's a Heisman favorite. It's why I didn't even bother bringing him up. Like, it makes no sense to me how good he's been. And the Oregon data points, again, I'll just stress it. What they've played so far this year, Oregon State is terrible. They don't even participate in a revenue share because their conference doesn't exist. Northwestern's awful. And you let them backdoor you 34-14, dude, that should have looked more like Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's not real. And then what is this first game? I don't even know what MOS is on the Action Network. They're always playing some Portland State or some garbage. They've played nobody yet. And it's not that Penn State has, but it's that Penn State's at home. Penn State returns so much up front on their offense. They return both their backs. Their defense is always going to be good, whether they lost Abdul Carter and Chop Robinson or not. This is a Penn State spot to me. It screams Nittany Lions.
I'm with you.
And I'll never fade the white out.
All right, I'm glad we're walking arm in arm today.
For once. Yeah, no conflict on the college side. Hopefully that continues going forward. You want to do LSU Ole Miss?
Let's do it.
I have no wager.
Ooh.
Lane Kiffin's telling you to bet the over. If you want to do it, because Lane Kiffin loves gamblers.
Yeah.
He got on a podium and apologized because he didn't cover a spread earlier this year. So if he's going to say bet the over and you want to bet the over, go for it. But I will not bet a public over that Lane Kiffin's telling me to. It just seems foolish. On the side of things, Ole Miss laying 1.5 at a spread that opened at 2.5. That tells me where the smart money's going, and it's on LSU.
Can I tell you this? Do you think it has anything to do with the quarterback situation? Because
maybe a little.
Austin Simmons, is he going to play? Is he not going to play? Trinidad Chambliss. I mean, to be honest, he looked just as good as Austin Simmons.
Yeah,
maybe even better.
I think Chambliss is a good player.
Like, the guy can play, and he looked every bit of the part last week against Tulane. I really like Ole Miss in this game. Minus the 1.5. You get a home game at the Grove.
You might bully me into it.
Short favorites. Like, you're effectively betting a money line here. To me, it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. And I would probably bet this number earlier than later because any sort of quarterback clarity could move this number a little further out towards a field goal for Ole Miss. I really like the way this Ole Miss team is playing right now. I thought last week was a look-ahead spot for them. They didn't give a shit. They went out and pumped Tulane.
Yeah.
I just think this Ole Miss team is excellent on offense, as they always are. But I think their defense has been better than I thought they would be this season, too.
What do we do with Landry Kiffin dating Whit Weeks?
This feels like a Trojan horse situation.
Does it really? I can't decide if it's she's trolling her own father or if this is to get in the mental of LSU. Whit Weeks, if you're not familiar, LSU's star defensive linebacker. He's fantastic. Got hard launched on Landry Kiffin's Instagram. The two of them are dating. It seemed like he was ready for the hard launch. This was very intentional that it came out this week. Mm-hmm. And Lane Kiffin's comment was, bet the over. I do wonder if this, like, the motivation here for Lane Kiffin is less cover a number, more I'm going to paste 50 on this defense if I can.
Yeah. And Ole Miss is certainly capable of that, too. I think this is a Trojan horse situation because who's going to have to face the noise more? Lane Kiffin's not getting bullied about this at all. Lane Kiffin doesn't give a shit if someone's going to come after him. Whit Weeks, on the other hand, he's going to have to answer questions. He's going to have to hear it in class all week. He's going to have to hear about this from everyone on the team. He's probably already gotten an earful from Brian Kelly about it.
It's all fun and games right now, but when you lose in the SIP, all of a sudden your classmates go rival on you. I mean, we're going to be watching the game together. I'll join you on it. I'm going to take Ole Miss laying the 1.5. It's a fun route. I love the Grove. We have to make a trip to the Grove. That's the one place in the SEC before I die I'm seeing a game at Ole Miss. Hotty toddy.
Yeah.
So fuck it. I'm in. I'll fade LSU. Nuss has been bad the last few weeks. And I don't give a shit what Brian Kelly says to a reporter. We can run the ball. Did you see the final play? Dude, you got like 3 yards a pop with an explosive run at the end of the game. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Offensively, they have not been good. And the Clemson game, you got to throw it away now. It was a great opener. It looked like a huge win for LSU. Now it gets tossed in the trash because Clemson blows. So, fuck it. I'm with you. I'll ride Ole Miss.
All right.
Now we'll get to the big one. The game of the week. I think just on brand alone, and maybe that's two teams that aren't what they were 3 years ago, but Bama, Georgia, last year it lived up to the billing. There were 1 billion points. You had Ryan Williams making 2 DBs kiss. It was incredible theater. This year, between the hedges, revenge spot for Georgia. Georgia's laying 3. I already told you at the top of the show I like Georgia in the game. I like their quarterback better. I like what I've seen on tape from them better. They're a more physical team, I think, this year. I think the only way you can bet this is Georgia.
I'm with you. I like Georgia minus the 3. And I think the other thing about them is I've seen resilience from them. That Tennessee game, they got punched in the mouth. You're down 2 scores early in that game on the road, and then all of a sudden Gunnar Stockton really kicks it into gear. They went down, and they found a way to win, which is something they didn't do last year against Bama. They went down, they got back in the game, but they didn't find the way to win. And now you've got Gunnar Stockton, who, while he's never played in this game before, he at least gets the benefit of being at home, and he's got some confidence rolling because of what happened against Tennessee.
Yep.
The other thing I like in this game is over 52.5. And I get it may be a very public over at 52.5, but neither of these defenses have impressed me all that much. I mean, Georgia has a little bit, but Bama got raced against Florida State out of the gate, and that was a game on the road for them. And then you've got this Georgia defense who got run all over the field on and gave up how many explosives against Tennessee?
Yep.
So when you've got explosive players on the Bama side, I think both of these teams can get to that number. And both of these offenses have showed quality offense against good defenses.
Nobody's betting the over.
Really?
9% of bets, 10% of the money.
Wow.
I'm joining you. I'm up to 8 bets this weekend. My God.
I've bullied you.
I'll go to over 52.5.
I mean, we could be aligned on like 7 of our 8 plays.
We're going to be in the book, man. We're going to be having a good time. We'll be watching the game with Hoodie and Abdallah. I want to have money on it. Now, listen, I will say on the side, shop around. There are 2.5s available. Okay. There are also 3.5s popping up. I don't think you can lay 3.5. I did it with Georgia against Tennessee, and I got fucked on the hook because Kirby Smart's a field goal merchant. You got to lay the 3. If you want the 2.5, it's out there. Go find it. And then you're even in better position. But you can't take this if it's at 3.5. This is 3 or better for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you want to go next?
Let's go.
That covers the big matchups.
Yeah.
Now we're back in fun territory.
Let's go to the Big Ten.
Ohio State, UW?
Yeah.
We're going to be aligned again. This is one of my 3-pack of dogs. One of them's winning outright. I am taking the 8.5 points with Washington. This line does not pass the smell test. I think
open 10, right?
Yeah, and it's been bet way down. All the sharp action is on the on the Washington side, and this line is moving even further. There are 8.5s everywhere. There are 8s, and there are 7.5s also at certain shops. So again, shop around. 8 is a pretty key number in college football with the nature of going for it on 2-point conversions. Or you get a fucked up extra point. You want to be holding 8. Yeah. 8.5 is really important. So there are a bunch of 8.5s out there. I would bet Washington at that number. Once you start talking about 7.5, I'm probably out. But I don't buy that this Ohio State team's all that good. I really don't. The Texas game, I think you played them at the right time. Arch was horrible. Arch stayed horrible for a few weeks. He had a bounce back against Sam Houston. But Texas might not be all that they were told to be. And Ohio State, you know how I felt going into the year. They still are replacing everything up front. They still are replacing everything up front on defense. Like Caleb Downs was basically their biggest returning player outside of Jeremiah Smith. It's still a new quarterback. It's a young quarterback who has first year as a starter. Now you're going to UW where, watch out, they might be good.
Yeah.
And you got to play at that stadium after they sailgate all morning. It's another one of these most hostile spots, and you got the early kick on the West Coast. I don't love the spot for Ohio State at all. I think they could lose outright.
I'm with you. I mean, and you've got a Washington offense that I feel exploits what the weakness is of the Ohio State defense, and that's stopping the run. Jonah Coleman's accounted for 10 touchdowns this season for Washington. 10. And this offense, I mean, let's not forget, Jed Fish is a damn good football coach, too. He was great at Arizona. He makes the leap up back to the Big Ten with with Washington, and I just think this is a really good spot for Washington to kind of put themselves on the map and get that first signature win under Jed Fish. I really like the spot for them.
This is also just the future of college football is what Jed Fish is doing in Washington. It's what a guy like Curt Cignetti has done at Indiana. It doesn't take multiple years to build your team into a winner. It's why I'm pissed at Jonathan Smith. We're in year 2 and you still look like dog shit. You go out to USC, you're not even competitive in the game. It should look more like this. And I think you want to be on the forefront of it where people aren't ready to say UW is good again. They're still thinking of what last year was, losing everything off a national title team, losing your coach, losing your OC, losing your quarterback. And then you come back and you're not good. But now Jed Fish has had a year to get his scheme in place. He's got his players in place. And I think they're a good team. And Ohio State having to go on the road here in an unfamiliar spot, nah. I'll take the points with Washington.
Yeah, I just think you get that noise off the ocean, too, in Seattle. Like, that stadium's right there. We saw how hostile that environment was for those Oregon games from a couple of seasons ago. I love this Washington spot. I think it's about as good as you're going to get.
All right, I think I only have one play left, and it is in the SEC, and it is another one of my 3-pack dogs.
Okay.
And I'll tell you right now, I am sprinkling a money line parlay where all 3 dogs win outright. Ooh. You get Virginia money line, you get Washington money line, and then you pop this little sucker. Auburn money line at Kyle Field.
Interesting.
I'm taking the 6.5 points with Auburn.
Okay. We're correlated here.
I think Texas A&M's running a little hot off of what happened with Notre Dame. And look, man, we got to be real. Notre Dame's defense might not be any good. They can't tackle. They can't pressure. They let Marcel Reed run all over them. They're letting downfield completions of 15 yards turn into 60, 70 yards, touchdowns. Notre Dame's defense might not be good. Auburn's defense sold me. They'll travel. Mm-hmm. They went to Oklahoma. They broke John Mateer's fucking hand, and they stymied that run game. And I really feel like this is an Auburn defensive front that's going to travel. Texas A&M wants to run the football. I think this is a low-scoring game. You're giving me 6.5 points, and all I got to count on is Auburn to do what they did at OU last week, game-winning drive late, and just hold up. And I don't think Marcel Reed is as good as John Mateer. I don't know if he has game-winning drive energy in him. But either way, I think they can cover 6.5 points. Yeah. So I am taking the points with Auburn.
In fairness to Marcel Reed, he did have the game-winning drive against Notre Dame at Notre Dame.
True.
Whatever you think of the Notre Dame defense, he still did it on the road.
That's the thing is Auburn's defense, I'm sold. They're elite. Mm-hmm. Notre Dame's defense might be bad.
Yeah. So I like under 52.5 in this game. You said you think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I could see this being 20-17.
Yeah.
Either side comes away victorious here. I'm not super sold on either offense, and I just think that Auburn can contain the A&M rush attack. They did a really good job of it last week against Oklahoma, both with the quarterback and with the backfield, and you're just going to make Marcel Reed pass, which maybe he does, and maybe they end up rolling all over Auburn, but if he doesn't, I just think this Auburn defense has shown me a lot through the first 4 or so games of the season that makes me think under 52.5 could be a really good play here. And I don't trust Jackson Arnold going to Kyle Field either. So give me the under 52.5.
I'm looking at this stat here. 57% of the time that a Power 4 team stays on the road, they cover the number. Does that mean anything? 57%, it's better than it's not a huge edge, but that's just another reason to take Auburn is apparently when you're staying on the road consecutive weeks in the Power 4, you cover more than you don't.
It's interesting, and I think it kind of makes sense because usually you're coming off of a loss, you'd imagine, in most cases. Yep. And so the number maybe shifts your way a little bit. But
the other thing, too, is power ratings have it at 4.5. I'm going to take the 6.5. I think you're right on with it. I may end up joining you on the over with a physical ticket from the wonderful Mandalay Bay Sportsbook.
Yeah.
On the under, rather. Yeah, I feel the same way you do. I wouldn't be shocked if this is 17-13 final.
Yeah.
But the juiciest thing I have this weekend is I think all 3 of those dogs are live to win. Virginia, Auburn, and UW. I'm going to pack them up in a money line parlay and hopefully hit it.
Good luck to you. I think you've got a chance.
Be fucking awesome.
I think you got a chance. It starts Friday, so make sure to get that wager in on Friday.
I don't really have any degenerate stuff this week. Nothing jumped out at me.
There's too much good action on the big games where it's like I don't want to fuck around with some of the other stuff here. There's one other play that I have, and it comes in Notre Dame and Arkansas. The number's 64.5 for the total. Notre Dame a 4.5-point favorite on the road. I'm not taking Notre Dame just because, they're on a mission right now, and I think they win the game. But
what if
you are
they
going
stink?
on the road? I don't know if they stink. You played two really good teams, two top 10 teams right now. And you may not be sold on A&M, but they're at least a top 15 team in the country. You played two really good teams out of the chute here.
Is this they go high, we go higher?
I'm going under.
Oh, wow.
64.5. That's a big number, and this Arkansas offense hasn't faced any defensive consequence. You may not be sold on the Notre Dame defense, but I don't think they're awful. And I think that Marcus Freeman rallies the troops. They let some points up in garbage time against Purdue, but I think largely they played really well. And especially when you got to sit through a lightning delay, too.
Yeah.
Who knows what that does to the psyche of a team. But in the first half of that game, they looked awesome against a Purdue team that I think has improved, especially running the football. And now you face a quarterback that already has thrown 4 picks this season in Taylon Green. So if he's turning the ball over, maybe they move the ball a little bit, and then you get some turnovers in your own territory there that set up long fields the other way for you. So I'm going under 64.5.
I really wanted to bet Arkansas here, plus 4.5. I think it's a brutal place to play, and I'm worried Notre Dame's not any good. I am. I didn't love the Purdue performance the way that you did. I think they might be bad.
I think there's too much weird stuff in the Purdue
which is
game.
Fair. It's just this whole season. I went into it feeling like they were back. They'd be national title contenders again. They aren't. Clearly, they aren't. And I don't know that they can survive this schedule. I mean, this is as brutal a schedule as Notre Dame has had in years. Going to Fayetteville is no joke.
Yeah. After going to Miami to open the
season.
No,
like the way that they've scheduled their season this year, they were setting themselves up. Last year, everything was really friendly for them. This year, it's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Go back to last year. Schedule 2 service academies again. Give yourself a couple layups. The fuck are you doing going to Miami and Fayetteville?
Yeah. I don't get it.
That is not treating Marcus Freeman well.
No. And he's overcome a lot of adversity since he's been there, but this may be a little too tough of a task.
I'm going to offer you one more thing that we should keep an eye on because we're going to Vegas and we'll have opportunities to bet in-state colleges.
Mm-hmm.
Do we lay 6.5 with the Wildcats of Evanston?
Who do they have this week?
UCLA.
In Evanston.
Yeah. UCLA might be the worst FBS team I've watched all year.
I think we need UCLA.
Notice I said FBS, not power.
Yeah. I think we might need a UCLA versus Oklahoma State toilet bowl type of game. Because I actually would want to watch that.
I kind of would too. If you get 0-12, and UCLA might be 0-12. They're horrible. I don't know where they win a game. If you have 0-12 UCLA and 0-12 Oklahoma State at the end of the season, can we set up a bowl game, please? One of these teams has to get a win. It's two historical programs. It's 2 interim coaches. Let's get one of these schools a win.
That would be funny.
I would watch.
I would watch, yeah. Put it the same week as Army Navy at the end of the year.
And it's none of these kids are going to the NFL. Yeah. Nico put a little tape out. You might want to find a new home again.
Yeah.
It could be an opportunity for some of these players to find new homes.
Don't hate that.
0-12 UCLA, 0-12 Oklahoma State. I want to see it.
Yeah.
Match of the century. Put it on pay-per-view. It'd be stellar.
On Showtime or something. Where do they put all the boxing stuff now?
It would be awesome.
I'm kind of intrigued by Northwestern. I wish if this was an 11 o'clock kick, I'd be all over it. You get UCLA going from the West Coast with the quit factor in it.
UCLA doesn't want to play football. I mean, you've got red shirts. You've got guys are going to hit the portal. They've got the 30-day window open. They don't give a fuck. Nico just made arguably the worst decision in college football history, giving up the money in Tennessee to go to UCLA for less money, and now you're 0-3. Wear that.
Yeah.
They might be the automatic fade. Does Carolina play this week? Because that's another school that every time I watch them, and I'm sorry, you took a beating on the UCF pick last week.
Hand up, wrong on that.
I may just UNC's off this week because they have Clemson next week. Boy, you talk about another toilet bowl.
Yeah. Battle of quit.
I don't know what you do with UNC Clemson anymore. Holy smokes. This season's off the fucking rails already.
It's been fun.
And then the last one I just wanted to bring up quickly because I had a lean on it, but I didn't really want to play it. How is Indiana only giving 7.5 to Iowa in Kinnick?
Yeah, I saw that too, and it's another one of those, does this pass the smell test? It kind of feels out of that Florida State and that Ohio State type of game, type of spread. I don't know. I'm just going to stay away from it.
According to Action Network, the smart people are on Indiana. I think Indiana's a fucking wagon.
Yeah.
But
we saw this game play out in the past, like that Nebraska game, albeit that game was in Bloomington. But that Nebraska game last year, where they just went out and just kicked the shit out of them. I think there was maybe a Washington game where they did the same thing.
Yeah, and it's like, historically, Kinnick is where your dreams go to die. Iowa will just beat you. And they're always prone to snipe somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But do I want to take 7.5 points with the Hawkeyes? And you will know, like if you bet Iowa in this game against Indiana, you're going to know about 5 minutes in if you got a shot or not.
Yeah.
Because Sig has no interest in taking it easy on anybody. If he's pedal to the metal, they'll be up 21-0 before you hit your ass hits the seat. And you know I'm on the losing side.
Yeah.
So that was my calculus was I would take Iowa, but I don't want to be in a position where I'm just having Sig drop his nuts on my forehead, and I feel like an idiot for fading a team I like.
Doesn't it kind of feel like Signetti's kind of joined the class of, and I don't think it's a know the number type of thing, but he just wants to take your soul from the Lanning, or not, a little bit of Dan Lanning, but more so like the James Franklin and Lane Kiffin school, where you don't necessarily want to fade those teams because you know you're very vulnerable to some bullshit at the end of the game because they know the number they're going for. They play 60 minutes.
I also think, like bringing up the Lanning thing, Lanning has it in his bag if you talk shit.
Yeah.
If you're loud and chesty, Lanning's going to want to put you in the dirt, and he typically will. But if you're quiet and you don't give him any bulletin board material, it seems like he's got a real problem in big games. Sig's a little different to me. Sig, I wonder, you spend as long as he did at James Madison, where you're a career FCS coach. Mm-hmm. You make the jump and you have success, and then you get hired at Indiana, and everybody's like, Kurt Signetti, what are they doing here? And you just come out chesty, Google me, all I do is win. And then you do it. Like you get hired, say, I'm going to win, and then you win. And then the response to it is, oh, well, they got clapped by Notre Dame. They're not actually that good. One-hit wonder Signetti, all his JMU super seniors are gone now, and he's lost some assistant coaches. Can't repeat the trick. Well, it turns out he can, and I just wonder if Signetti's motivation is, all I've said is I'll win. All I've done is win. And all you people say is it's not real. So I'm going to keep caving everybody's fucking head in until you finally accept I ain't no fluke. Like maybe he's just one of the elite coaches who was buried at the FCS level, and maybe he'll be at the SEC next year. Yeah. Or who knows?
He creates his own bulletin board material. And listen, if you're going to start winning at Indiana, and we saw how they took football seriously last year, what's the point in leaving?
Imagine
Indiana.
Imagine Signetti in like Gainesville, sitting down in the swamp.
Yeah.
Google me, I win. And then Florida just rips off an SEC title.
That'd be fantastic. But hey, there may not be much incentive to leave.
I just wanted to bring it up. I thought there's a little local intrigue, and I leaned Iowa, but I couldn't do
Illinois USC game, because like we've kind of we've mentioned it, but we haven't really like dove in. But USC is 6.5 point favorite on the road.
I don't know what to do with it. Like USC, I think is the better team. USC is the side I would like to bet. I've been against Illinois all year, and it's not like I hate the program or something. Just I don't love Brett Bielema as a coach. For whatever reason, I don't love Luke Altmaier as a quarterback. I don't know why. When I watch him, I'm not impressed. People tell me how good he is. It's not to the extent of Drew Aller, but it feels similar to me where people tell me how good this guy is, and then I watch and I don't always see it. My fear is it's in Champaign, and it's a bounce back spot where you just got fucking embarrassed, and now your season's kind of on the line.
Yeah. And it's an 11 a.m. kick after USC had an 11 p.m. kick. They're flying across the country.
and I'm getting you as a dog at home. But again, the fear is like, I've said it, the Duke game was a mirage. That same box score, you could script up a Duke blowout as easily as you got an Illinois one. Am I really going to trust the team I think is inferior here inside a touchdown? I don't think I could get there. If I do anything on this when we get to Vegas, it would be USC.
I just think USC's defensive line is not going to be what Indiana's was.
No.
And
No,
you
that's
get the
fair.
game at home. I would lean the Illinois side here, but I don't think I'm going to play. Maybe I'll end up tripping my way into it just because we're in Vegas and it's like, oh, all of a sudden you're the kid in the candy store because you can finally bet Illinois teams. So I'm gonna take this here and take Northwestern there. Like maybe that's how I'm going to be in Vegas, but
You know what? Maybe it is just Jaden Mayava Heisman, because then you basically just take USC money line at 20-1 to beat Illinois, beat Michigan, beat Notre Dame. And then by the time they're 3 weeks down the road playing Nebraska, he might be the favorite. Maybe if you like the USC side here, it's just 20-1 Jaden Mayava, and you hope that they get hot and roll.
yeah, that's fair. I mean, you look at the next couple of games, like how many of those games is USC going to be favored in?
They'll be
They'll be favorites against Michigan.
They'll be at home off a bye. I have a hard time believing they won't be favored against Michigan. They'll be favored at Notre Dame with
11
what
a.m.
Notre Dame
in
is
LA.
showing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which is what, 9 a.m.?
They'll move that. That can't be a static thing. Now listen,
That could be big noon.
making them kick at 11 a.m. in LA, which would be 9 a.m. local in LA,
It's been done before.
it would be unbelievable work by Fox, but it would also be a little bit of retribution for me having to kick at fucking 11 p.m. local. I think they'll be favored against Notre Dame. I think they'll be favored against Nebraska. They'll obviously be favored against Northwestern. They'll be favored at home against Iowa. And then if they win all of those games and they're undefeated going into Autzen, you're talking about a 2.5-point spread at best, right?
Possibly. I think it depends what the defense looks like over the course of these next couple games, but yeah.
Maybe that's the way. You just fire a 20-1 Jaden Mayava Heisman and you parlay the next 3 weeks together. USC wins them all, and you'll be sitting pretty at 850, if not better than that, by the time you get there.
Possibly. I don't hate it.
I might fire Jaden Mayava Heisman today.
I think I'm going to, once we turn the mics off, I may be joining you.
All right, that'll do it for a college edition. We'll be back tomorrow with a Thursday edition of the NFL picks. I'm going to be honest, picking NFL games on a Thursday is a fucking nightmare. So it's going to be a lot of leans and would play ifs for me tomorrow, but we'll do our best. We'll talk about every game. We'll break them all down. That'll come your way tomorrow on Thursday. As a reminder, wherever you're listening, rate, review, subscribe, and we are also on YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave a comment, like a video, pick youtube.com/pickasideespn. For Tyler Aki, I'm Shea Norling. It's the Pick a Side Podcast.